and I have done a coffee talk on before, but I'm actually going to do it today and I'm going to record it for YouTube. So here's our consent form. We have it here. It is 5 pages long, and extra to that, I ask you another 3 pages of questions to make sure that you're a suitable candidate for microblading. Now, when people make an inquiry with us, we actually send out a free information pack so that you can decipher if you are a suitable candidate for microblading or not. There are certain people who cannot come for microblading. That is people who are pregnant, breastfeeding, and anybody who's on a blood thinner. So if you are if you're pregnant, the data doesn't say that you can't come when you're pregnant, but it doesn't say that you can come either. And with any pregnancy related issues, even dyeing your hair, a lot of the obstetricians would recommend that you don't dye your hair in the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. And we're the same. So our insurance won't cover us at all for pregnancy or breastfeeding. And it's because the data doesn't say that you can. So that is the reason why. And anybody who's on blood thinners like warfarin or heparin, you're absolutely excluded. You can't come as a client to anybody, let alone us. But if you're on aspirin, it depends on the dosage and we will be able to work around that. So that medical questionnaire goes out to you in advance of you even making a booking. It's sent out to you when you make your inquiry. So once you read our free information pack and you decide that yes, you're a suitable candidate to come to have eyebrow microblading done, then you are emailed out this 5-page consent form. And that's even more detailed for you to see if you are a suitable candidate. So say, for example, if you had issues like diabetes or a cardiac problem, or if you were chemotherapy, pre-chemotherapy, post-chemotherapy, and so on, that you've got an extra consent form to make sure that all is safe. You can still have eyebrow microblading done if you have a cardiac stent. You can still have it done if you're diabetic. But you just need a doctor's letter to say that it's safe for you to come. So that is all part of the screening process of the consent form. Now that is emailed out to you in advance so that you know exactly what you're signing when you come to us here. There's no way that anybody can hand you a 5-page document on arrival and say, here, sign this. You need to read it in advance. Now guys, you know that I'm a registered nurse and know the legal implications of a consent form. So it not only protects you, but it also protects me. My insurance covers me up to 6.5 million. And if I didn't take that seriously, the consent form and the screening process of a client that's actually coming to me for microblading, be it for beauty or be it for medical, it would actually be I would not be executing due diligence if I actually didn't point out what the consent form is all about. Look, there are people who want their eyebrows so badly. It's a bit like the terms and conditions when you sign up for an app. Yeah. Just show me where to sign. And then when something doesn't work out in the end, they go, oh, I didn't know that. If you have any queries at all in relation to your suitability, I always urge for people to come for a consultation in advance. That is €50 very well spent. Not only do we go through the consent form of 5 pages, I also ask you an extra 2 pages, they're here, of extra information in relation to being a blood donor, in relation to retention, in relation to using prescriptive facials. It's even more detailed. So what I have here is for the medical suitability. And then what I ask you at the consultation, and it is also part of the consultation part of step 1, the more detailed nitty-gritty about your suitability for eyebrow microblading. So the consent form, girls, is not just a piece of paper that you have like contact tracing or whatever. This is a legal document that you've signed and I've witnessed. Now, when you actually come to us here in Browtique, you get your free information pack, you get your patch test posted out to you, you get your consent form is now being posted out to you, as well as being emailed in advance, so that you have a chance to read it and you know exactly what you're signing for. Then 2 or 3 days before you come to us, we actually send you out another email to let you know how to prepare for your treatment and to ensure that nothing has changed between your inquiry and the time that you have actually decided to come to us. So, I mean, for example, you could have gotten pregnant and you could have totally forgotten and went, oh my God, so that's the reason why. Now, we take our screening process very, very seriously, very seriously. Because it's not like going for a tint whereby if there's a whoopsie, well then, it'll be better. Or it's not like getting your hair done and if there's a whoopsie or if it's too short, it'll grow. This is a tattoo on your face and you need to know, and I need to know, that you are happy with the screening process. Now, there's one thing I need to sort of draw attention to now. This is the medical questionnaire. So it's actually, that's the one that you're sent out at home. And that's very broad. And so when you actually come to me, we go into the more finer details in relation to what is expected of you. And I have to do extra screening to make sure that we are all 100% happy from the get-go. All right. So I know I'm laboring this point here, but actually this is a big deal, a very big deal. So here at Browtique, we do our utmost to execute due diligence and to maintain the integrity of the skin. So there is a certain amount of treatments that can be done in any one period. And after that, it cannot be done anymore because I would not be executing due diligence if it so happened that you were the type of client that the pigment didn't take as well as we might like. So, eyebrow microblading is an art form. It's not an exact science and there are no guarantees in this work. Now, I really do need to point this out. It is on the first page of your consent form. Let me read it out to you. I acknowledge that no guarantees have been made to me concerning the results of this treatment. You signed that. Now, for the most part, everybody's really happy. Happy days. But there are going to be some that it's not happy days. Okay, the human skin is an organ, and it's a very unpredictable organ at that. I can predict a certain amount of results when a client comes to me because we actually assess the type of skin that a client has. So it can be anything from very dry, mature skin to normal skin to combination skin to acne-prone skin, particularly if it's up around the forehead area. And for those who have very oily skin, lucky people, and orange peel skin. So there are certain skins that I use certain blades for. The more difficult skin is oily and orange peel skin, and we usually recommend that those clients have the blade and shade treatment done. Normal skin can take microblading on its own, and dry skin takes the best of all actually. Dry and mature skin, they only need a very tiny blade and a conservative approach when it actually comes to the eyebrow pigment because it receives it so well. You will know from all of the communications that we have with you that in BrowtiqueCork we use a conservative approach. You will know that from the get-go because you will have been informed of it from your inquiries and any of the information sheets that go out to you. We have found that the conservative approach works very well for the Irish people. So therefore, we would go for an eyebrow thinner than you might like and lighter than you might like to start with, because it's far easier for us to actually add to it at step 2 and even add to it again at step 3 if it so happens that you need it. So rather than going too thick and too dark at step 1 and then going, oh my God, it's too thick, it's too thick, it's too dark, I hate it. So this is the approach that we use in BrowtiqueCork, and that's what you signed up for. So there is nothing left to a grey area. Everything is specific. You know exactly in advance how we operate. Now, If there's any doubts at all in relation to what you're signing up for, I highly recommend for people to come for a consultation so that you can thrash it out even further, or even organise a Zoom call or a FaceTime call, so that any questions that you might have in relation to how we operate here in Browtique, that you can thrash it out. And it'll be part of your research, and it's a very important part of your research as well, because you need to see if the person that you're going to go to for your microblading and me are going to be a good fit. So I could do microblading in my sleep, guys. It's to get to know the personality of the client is the hardest bit for me. So I've been at this work for quite some time. I am a true professional. I am transparent. I am receptive, and I'm also a nurse. So everything is explained to you in advance. So it's so important that education is part and parcel on your part. I can deliver the eyebrows, no trouble at all. Yes, it is an art form, but for the most part, I have a very happy success rate. But this isn't getting your hair cut. This is eyebrow reconstruction by microblading, which is implanted under your skin, and it's actually a tattoo. So it's a big deal, and we take ages in explaining to you in advance. Now there are times, and I even see it here when people come to me for step one, and it's sort of yeah, I got all those. Yeah, look here, it's signed. Yeah. I know those people actually have neither done research, neither have they read the information that we've sent out. They've just looked to know, where do I sign? And then if they're not happy afterwards, then they're coming back and they're sort of, oh, this is a very uncomfortable question now, but I didn't know that this was going to happen. And then I pull out the consent form and go, well, actually, you should have known. So I can only bring the horse to the water, guys. You have to do the drinking. So please read the information that you're given. Read your consent form before it's actually signed. And if you're given ample opportunities to ask questions. So eyebrow microblading it's not an exact science. You need to know that there is going to be always a question mark as to whether it's going to be a perfect. Perfection is unattainable. So I will never say your eyebrows will be perfect, but they will be a vast improvement on what they were. And for the most part, 99.99999% of my clients are very happy with the results. And the people that may not necessarily be as happy with results would be clients who have difficult skin, clients who've got alopecia, and clients that have got trichotillomania and an undiagnosed underlying condition. So if it doesn't take as well as you might like, it means basically that you will need to come back more often for your colour boost. So that's usually sort of the way it is. Those clients usually accept it, that their skin didn't take it as well as they had hoped, and there's going to be no guarantees. They don't need to come back every 12 months. They might have to come back every 9 months. Some might even need to come back every 6 months. And if that's the case, well then they accept that, and we explain that to you. Your skin will retain the product the way your skin will retain the product. It's not as a result of a bad or an inexperienced job or bad and poor quality pigment. Our pigments are FDA approved. So I just want to cover that today, and I hope that helps anybody who has any queries in relation to the consent form, the legal consent form that you have signed before you have your treatment done. I hope that helps. Bye.